Hi, this is Scott Tilley from Scott Tilley Photography, and no points for guessing where I am today. Yeah, we've come to a graveyard, and there's several reasons for that. The first is that I really love the work of a photographer called Simon Marsden, who sadly is no longer with us these days. I think he died in about 2012, but he specialised in what can only be described really as, if you like Hammer horror films, you'll love his work. It's the sort of creepy, fearful horror image, anything like that. And basically what he did, he shot in infrared film. Even 2012, 2011, he was shooting in infrared film. He never went over to digital. And if you want to look at his images, they're still online. It's something called the Simon Marsden Archive, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's got images from all over this country, as well as France, Ireland, you name it, and the images are absolutely stunning. So I'll put a link in the description below to that archive so that you can go and have a look at it, and then you can obviously see if we get anywhere near it today and over the next few days when we're going to be shooting these videos. The other reason I'm doing it is I love infrared photography, and as I say, I love Simon Marsden's work, but in this particular weather, the current heat wave we're having in the UK, infrared really works best in really bright sunlight. The harsher the sunlight, the better, the more you get out of the infrared. And you can do it with digital technology these days. Now, how I prefer to do it is by using an infrared filter on the front of my camera lens, and just doing it that way. And yeah, so that's the plan. As I say, check out Simon Marsden's archive, have a look at the images that he produces there, stay with it, and we'll see what we can shoot. There's a couple of graveyards we're going to visit in the local area, so we'll do that, and the images will come up and I'll explain the settings as we go. Right, well, I've set up for the first shot. We're not actually in the graveyard now, we've come out because we've discovered at the entrance to the graveyard the gate in there, and I'd always urge you to check out sort of things like gates into graveyards, because sometimes they can be quite ornate. This one here is obviously wrought iron, and it looks quite nice, and I think it'll look quite nice in infrared. And there's also the tree above it's catching, if you can see there, it's catching the light, which will also should look nice in infrared. That should bring a lot of the white on the leaves that you see in infrared shots. So that's the first composition that we've got. I would have liked it actually if it was, I could point it towards where the church is, but there's a tree that stands the other side of the gate and you just can't see the church at all. So we've gone for this composition instead because I liked the leaves on the tree. Now to get enough light, I've got a 30-second exposure. I'm shooting at f4 and ISO 1250, and it's about 30, as I say, a 30-second exposure at that. So we'll try different ones just to see which is getting the best out of the scene. And what we've also done is left the gate open, so as if it's opening to let you in, if you like. Yeah. So rather than having it shut, which is sort of providing a bit of a barrier. So yeah, if it comes out, you'll see it now. Hello and welcome again to Scott Tilley Photography, and this is day 2 of our infrared shoot. And I've actually come to a different location today. I've actually popped across to a place called Doddington Hall, which is just in Lincolnshire. And there's a couple of reasons really. One, this particular spot, if you look on the Simon Marsden archive, there's actually a picture taken from here, and I'm going to try and, in a way, replicate a similar shot. As well as doing some more photography while I'm here, because it looks like quite a nice site to do some infrared anyway. But the other reason is it's also Doddington, the site of the giant shop, and there's a cafe attached to it there that happens to do some really nice carrot cake. So once I've done this, I may slip in there for a coffee and some cake. But yeah, we'll set up. This particular shot that Simon Marsden took actually is actually looking from the graveyard. I don't know whether you can see, to Doddington Hall there behind this wall, and this is St Peter's Church, I think. So yeah, I'm going to try and do a similar shot here. I'm going to get set up now, and then what I'll try and do is look around for some more compositions while I'm here, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Right, hi again chaps. Well, I was actually just making my way back to the car where I've parked the car near the giant shop, and I know there's a couple of walks and rides that they've set up from there, but looking down from the car as I was walking back to it, I saw there's a lake down here, and although this particular vlog is an introduction to infrared photography, I suppose, and getting these really spooky, you know, sort of horror shots that such as Simon Marsden used to take, I can't tear myself away from the fact that you can also do landscape photography with infrared. And I just saw this in this pond. There's this lovely tree that's basically, it's a willow, and half of it's submerged in the water, but it's got lovely silver light on it and silver leaves. And I don't know, I'm thinking that could look pretty nice in infrared. I'm not 100% sure, but while I'm here, I might as well give it a go. So that's the plan. I'm going to set up, and then also I think I'm going to take some shots at actually the lake, because there's loads of sort of green algae and stuff in the water, which I'm not sure how that's going to show up on infrared, but that'll be interesting. So yeah, I might do a long landscape shot of the lake and see what that does. But yeah, if I get the images, I'll stick them up here. I think that's about all we're going to get done this week. I'm really glad I did come down to this small pond and took these images, because I think they're going to come out really well. And because this was really an introduction to sort of infrared photography, I think it's useful to let you know that you can actually do, you know, landscape photography as well. It's not just confined to that one genre that I was initially looking at. Next week's vlog will also be an infrared vlog, but we're hoping to visit a large cemetery in Sheffield, which is sort of high Victorian period. It's not in use anymore, and hopefully that will add to the sort of sinister type atmosphere that we're looking for to get these really spooky images. So yeah, Leia I think is coming with me as well. So yeah, we'll see you next week. As regards this video, I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please as always hit that like button, and also if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, then yeah, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Cheers, bye.